Entrepreneurial success hinges on four essential traits: resilience, adaptability, vision, and perseverance. Resilience is vital for recovering from setbacks, as exemplified by Oprah Winfrey's career. Building resilience involves setting clear goals, maintaining a strong support network, and learning from experiences. Adaptability allows entrepreneurs to adjust to market changes and seize new opportunities, demonstrated by successful pivot strategies. Vision enables entrepreneurs to anticipate future trends and innovate, as seen with Jensen Huang. Perseverance involves maintaining effort despite challenges, which is crucial for achieving long-term goals. Entrepreneurs must push forward, learning from failures and staying focused on their objectives. By cultivating these traits, entrepreneurs can better navigate the dynamic business environment and achieve lasting success. Understanding and developing resilience, adaptability, vision, and perseverance equips aspiring entrepreneurs to handle the demands and uncertainties of their entrepreneurial journey, ultimately leading to sustainable and impactful ventures.
JLD, I want you to kick us off. In interviewing over 3,000 entrepreneurs, can you share a common trait of resilience that you've observed among the most successful?
I've actually noticed three traits that seem to be present in basically every entrepreneur that I've interviewed since 2012, which you mentioned was 3,600. Now is actually over 4,000. So it's quite a database, quite a lot of conversations with really successful individuals. And those three traits would be productivity, discipline, and focus. And to break those down quickly, productivity. They are productive, meaning they're producing the right content every single day. A lot of people think they're productive. They're not. They're busy. They're running around in circles doing nothing. They're on social media, flipping around, just entertaining themselves, but getting nothing of value, nothing of meaning done. So productive people produce the right content. So if you're not actually in the moment producing the right content, you're not in the moment being productive. Now, of course, we can't all be productive 24 hours a day, and you shouldn't try to be productive 24 hours a day. But you need to have times during the day where you are productive. You're producing the right content. Discipline. Discipline means you are a disciple to a plan of action. You have a plan of action, and you are committed to following through that plan of action. Now, when should that plan of action be created? Not that same day that you're living. You win tomorrow, today. So you plan tomorrow, today. That's how you win. And then you become a disciple to that plan of action and you execute. And the last thing is focus. Follow one course until success. Focus. It's an acronym. It's key. Everybody gets distracted. Everybody has a bright eye, the bright, shiny syndrome of just distracting you everywhere. But listen, that bright, shiny object syndrome is going to be your downfall. So know what you need to do and focus on that one thing.
I love it. Gwen, what did you learn about building the Laundress, about needing to have a strong vision? And since you're in your second go around with the Fill, talk about how you're going to develop and maintain the vision throughout your present entrepreneurial journey.
Well, I was fortunate to have a clear vision that I followed all the way for 20 years. So it was a well-formed vision to the future. But I understand a lot of businesses and entrepreneurs don't get that clarity and ability to follow through on a singular vision. But I really credit to passion, and I do a lot of mentoring and speaking with founders and startups from every level, from in college to sort of well-formed businesses, and I believe that passion really is the center point for success, because if you're pushing and driving through this passion point, you're not going to run out of it. And that comes really from within. In the last, I'd say, few months, actually, it's in 2024, I've had this real clarity about being the founder that I am, and seeing, really understanding the landscape of I believe there's two kinds of founders. I feel that there's a heart founder and there's an ego founder. And a lot of the names out there and a lot of the articles I read about, I believe, are ego founders that just wanted to pluck an idea out of the sky, write a business plan, raise money, and make a name for themselves, and wanted this identity that is ego driven and not heart driven. As my journey, I created something, a CPG. This affected people's lives. It's in their homes. It's things that people used. I take that I take that seriously. That's a real responsibility to be touching people's life very intimately.
Yeah, this idea of ego being ego driven versus heart driven. JLD, do you think that impacts potential success or sustainability, or can you have either or?
That definitely does impact. I mean, I don't really like saying that just passion alone should be your driving force, because to me, that's only half the equation. And
Right, I'm not suggesting that, but I think it's a center point. That's a healthy center point.
And if you get 50% on a final exam, you fail. Because listen, passion, it's key. It's important. It's a factor, because your competition's going to have passion to a certain level and a certain degree. And they're going to wake up every single day excited to do that thing. But a lot of times people go down the wrong road when they're just following passion, because that just becomes a hobby. That just becomes something that they love to do, because they're missing that second half, that other 50%, which is what skill, what knowledge, what value are you actually giving to this world? You need to be doing that to make sure that you're winning. Because if you have the number one solution to a real problem in the world, you're going to win. If you're combining that passion, that excitement, that enthusiasm with skills, with knowledge, with actual value, then you can have that center point, which is that zone of fire. And that zone of fire actually gives you a chance to win, because just passion might be a hobby. Just skills or value, you're not excited about it. Your competition is, they're going to beat you because of that. You need the combination of both.
I mean, the definition of win is very broad. What are we like? What are we defining as a win? I mean, to me, I think entrepreneurism was basically rebranding business ownership, whether that's small business, large business, whatever, family business. Everyone's an entrepreneur now. And a win to me is someone that is able to provide a living for themselves, create jobs for other people, enjoy what they're doing, be profitable, do good for the world. All of these great things are wins. Like, I had the biggest win with the with the exit to like the big company. And I feel like that was the biggest loss that I've had in my career. It was, so it's, the definition of win is very large and personal.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting to hear you say that big win, you had that feeling of a loss. Can you expand on that?
I speak to a lot of fellow founders and quote entrepreneurs and exiters, and there's not a lot of exiters that I've met are happy about it, and that after journey has been very difficult and very disappointing. And to watch my 20-year legacy and all my work literally go down the drain has been traumatizing.
Yeah,
that doesn't feel like a win to me.
Well, I've known many serial entrepreneurs, and they love launching a new idea, launching a new business, and they've built a habit of exiting, selling to larger companies, and the joy for them is in starting a new one again and doing it over and over. I just want to take a step back and ask you both quickly, do you think, since we're talking about entrepreneurial traits, are entrepreneurs born or made? John?
I can say absolutely they are not born, because listen, I was not an entrepreneur for the first 32 years of my life. I wanted nothing to do with business, with entrepreneurship. I was content to make $20 a weekend as a high schooler just to make enough money to go to the movies and to hang out with my friends. I was in the Army for 8 years. I went to law school, corporate finance. I was, for most of my young life, the anti-entrepreneur. I never had anything against it. I just had no interest in it. And it wasn't really until 32 where I said, you know what, there's some exciting things out there that I'm not exploring. I started reading the books. I started listening to the podcasts, the audiobooks, and kind of gaining content from successful business owners, from entrepreneurs. And I said, you know what, this seems exciting. Let me dip my toe in it. And it was then that I kind of started getting my first taste of entrepreneurship. And then I was off to the races. But for myself, I was definitely not born with it. I think some people definitely are born with it. There's nothing that they can do otherwise besides entrepreneurship. They were just in that mold from day one, but definitely not me.
Yeah, I'm in the born category.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about
I'm
that.
not saying it's here nor there. I just happened to be born with it. It was in my DNA from as a kid in doing play activities and small business activities as a child. But I was doing it more from a creation standpoint and, selling my creations, which, goes hands in hand in commerce. But I don't think I think it's here nor there. I think there's room and ability for different backgrounds and skill sets. But I definitely do see people that don't want to, and don't thrive in being on their own, and the insecurity of it, and the stress and the drama of putting yourself out there and being responsible is not for everybody.
Okay. Unless anyone wants to weigh in more on entrepreneurial traits, I'll pause for a sec. Let's move to the next segment.